Join us on Geek Blood, the show you can't ignore. Ray and Kevin diving deep into all things galore. Comic book, movie, sci-fi, and action thrill. Reviewing new TV shows, we keep it real, real. Reminiscing the attitude era, wrestling at its peak. Nostalgia from the 80s and 90s, memories we seek. Pineapples for our rings, a unique touch. Geek culture in our blood, we love it so much. Geek Blood forever, we love it so much. Geek Blood, where we talk about it all, from superheroes to wrestlers. We stand tall, Ray and Kevin, the dynamic duo in sight. Geek Blood, shining bright, shining bright. Did you hear about Pluto? Let's messed up right. Geek Blood, taking you on a nostalgia flight. From movies to TV, we cover it all. Join us and every week we'll have a ball. Shuffle.
Hey, what's happening?
Not much, brother. How are you? I just went to Barrio with Finn. You remember Finn?
Yeah.
We went to the movies with him last week. Finn's Australian, for any of those that do not know. So he has his little Australian ID, right? And he gives it to the bartender because we got soft serve margaritas. It was like a strawberry ice cream soft serve, but margarita. It was amazing. But so he gives it to the bartender, or he gives it to the waitress, and she's like, "I have to bring this to the bartender." She brings it to the bartender. Bartender comes up, has the ID, looks at him, and goes, "Can you speak for me?" So he speaks in his Australian accent. And she goes, "Okay, you're Australian," and hands it back to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Finn went to Superman last year with us, right? And he went
Supergirl,
to Supergirl this year.
And it looks like we'll be going to the Odyssey. I have to go on that Friday, so if you want to go with me and Finn, and Finn's girlfriend will be coming from Australia too, so she might go. As of right now, that's the plan because I have to work that Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
yeah, we'll plan that
we'll
out.
figure it out. Okay.
Brand new week. We'll talk about Supergirl and everything surrounding it because we recorded an hour after we watched the movie, and ever since that movie came out, it has been a nightmare on the internet. And we'll talk all about that.
Twitter.
Yeah, and our reactions and being called misogynistic on our YouTube page because we kind of did not like the story and the dialogue of the movie. I forgot to tell you that this week.
You did not tell me that.
No. So we'll get into all of that. But first, beginning of the month, let's get into a show and tell. So many geeky things that we could pull off from the shelf. We've been collecting shit for years and now we're whipping it out. So it's time to showcase all the money that we wasted well. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It's Geek Web Show and Tell. Great time to buy physical media.
Oh, you got it.
Nice. Great time when PlayStation is ending their physical media empire. So we'll talk all about that news. But yep,
the digital
4K
media,
Hamilton finally out. Yeah, finally out. No digital code in here, by the way. That's why I haven't opened it. I love the movie. It's not even a ski either. So a lot of people are complaining just because you have to pay a lot of money just for that one movie. But yeah,
awesome,
Hamilton,
awesome. So we both became nerds, I'd say, around because of Star Wars, maybe.
I think that's where it started.
For me, it was
the obsession. Yeah.
I decided to get into
Oh boy,
lightsaber
Kevin.
buying.
Oh boy.
Another expensive hobby I did not need. Of course, this one died as soon as I turned it on to go on the pod. This is the Lord Luke. It's
Mhm.
basically Luke's Return of the Jedi-ish saber, but it's made for
Yep.
dueling and wielding, which is why there's only this button as opposed to the box. But it didn't stop there, because I
Mhm.
also decided I wanted the Annie 3, but not just the Annie 3. The Annie 3 with exposed crystals.
Power on.
Okay, so these are by Theory Saber. The YouTuber Star Wars Theory will probably be called misogynistic again because people call him that. But
Wow.
this thing's awesome. It came with
Well, look at the lights on the side.
17 fonts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And each one sounds different when you use it. There's one for Luke. There's one for Obi-Wan.
It's just that these days.
Ben from Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
At last we will have revenge.
It came with 17
Master Yoda.
on it. Each sound font is about $10,
Insidious.
but you can also buy packages on the website for each one. It's $50 for you get between 17 and 22.
I'm a Jedi.
So Luke one.
Ever hear the tragedy?
I'm trying to find a certain one.
I'm Cal. And second sister.
Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka Tano's blade.
Oh, that's cool.
Palin
And
the dark saber.
Nope.
Traitor!
Nope.
Just a simple wand.
Now this is pod racing.
it makes pod racing sounds. But yeah, you can buy
Wow.
different sound font packages and whatnot. It of course has the exposed crystals there.
Yeah, I like
which
that.
are
I like
very
how that.
cool.
Yeah, I like
Very
how it does
cool.
that. That's
It
awesome.
feels great. Oh, I turned it off. Oh, there we go. Flash. So yeah, very happy with that purchase. Of course, the other one died as soon
Those
as
are
I went
cool.
onto the podcast because that's bound to happen when you want to show something.
Power
Yeah.
off.
And I got this one too. It comes in silver, but I went with the black because I feel like the colors from this thing will pop more in the black. And it's a great display
I like the
piece.
black.
And
Yeah, I like the black a lot.
I look at them every day now on the website, and they're not cheap at all. But like
Have
my
you-
friend said,
Have you
he
seen the
goes-
wall? Have you seen the wall mount lightsaber? You can put them. Yeah, you have those on
Yep,
Amazon.
this comes with a mount for it. Each one comes with its own mount. It comes
Oh,
with
cool.
a bag that you can clean it with. Also, like I said, it comes with 17 built-in sounds. If you pay additional $50, you get another 17. Or you can just go into the Kyberphonics website and pay $10 per sound if you just want like one sound out of a certain package, and install it on the lightsaber. You can, if you put it down and twist, it changes the color. So like you might have the Obi-Wan sound with the blue thing and want a purple saber or a yellow saber or whatever. Very cool. If you ever decide to get into it, just let me know and I can help you talk you through the website itself. But go on their website. There is one that I was looking at and I can't pull the trigger, but he's the only guy that is sponsored by I can forget the guy's name, but Richard Christensen, who designed the first lightsabers for the original trilogy, and Nick Gilliard, who did all the stunt coordination for the prequel trilogy. And on
Okay.
his website, he has one called The Father, which was Christensen's original, because after Empire, nobody could find any of the lightsabers. They had to redesign them all.
Mhm.
And so he
Yep.
designed one for Darth Vader. And it's that lightsaber. And the thing is fucking awesome, but it's also like $1,500. So I
Wow.
will not be buying that one, but I would like to get the actual Luke from Return of the Jedi, and one of the Anakin ones because they're all just so awesome, and something to have on the shelf.
That's one
Yeah.
thing I don't have in my have
I
a
know.
lightsaber. Even the official,
And
even
I
the
didn't
official
until
ones, I don't
a month ago.
have.
Yep, I got one because there was a good sale on May
I have-
4th,
have
and it came
a-
with 2 dueling sabers. And then I saw
That's
that
cool.
one, and I was like, God damn it! So, like, they had another sale, so I got that one.
Do they have double bladed and all? They have all the
Oh,
different
yeah.
varieties.
Oh, they have everything. Yeah,
That's cool.
they have everything. I'll show you a few of the ones I want after the show. But yeah, they have a
Okay,
bunch of them. They have a Dooku one, like the curved blade, and they also have a cheaper version of the Dooku one. They have a cheaper version of everyone. So some of them are very affordable. They also sell like mystery boxes where they'll send you a random one, stuff like that. But yeah, they're all very cool. And like I said, they have the Dooku curved one. If you want a cheaper one, same one, it just isn't curved. It has like a curved thing on it, which is kind of cool. My friend has the Darth Maul double-bladed lightsaber. Those are
cool.
really pricey. And another one that I would love is the weathered episode 4, which was Obi-Wan's from episode 4. That's basically like been through battles and shit like that.
Been through it.
In A New Hope, yeah. So
Nice.
lots of cool shit on that site. If I win the lottery, I'll be having a lot of them. Most lightsaber companies don't give you the sound fonts like that. So I figured, why the hell not? I like Theory, even though he's whatever, according to the internet, because that's just what the internet does, as we saw with our Supergirl review. But let's continue the show.
Yeah, let's get into it. What we watched this week. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to you about what you watched, but we'll just go through it.
Yep.
Cape Fear.
I
don't know
watched
if you
episode 5.
this week's
6
episode.
is I have not watched this week's.
It just came out today.
Yeah.
Today's was funny, in a weird way. And we're getting towards the end. This is episode 6. There's 4 episodes left. And what's supposed to be a limited series, so
It's only
it should
it's
tell
10
the whole
episodes, not
story.
8. That's cool.
I believe it's 10. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so far so good. It is slowing down a little bit from what I loved about the beginning of it, but this episode seemed like it picked up a little bit more. So we'll get into that more.
The end of the last episode is when they found out he literally moved across the street from them.
Yes, he found out.
So, I'm looking forward
Javier
to
Bardem is.
Yep.
Yeah, Javier Bardem is amazing in this show, but the big things that we need to talk about are, number 1, House of Dragon episode 2.
Now, could you imagine if the sale didn't go through and these were like the last 2 episodes of last season, like they were originally planned to be?
That last
awesome that
scene
would've
of her on the last scene of her on the throne would have been amazing.
Yep.
Let's get into it. In this episode, Aemon, one-eyed Aemon, ends up going and taking Harrenhal.
Harrenhal. Yep. The cursed Harrenhal.
And it's abandoned because Rhaenyra and Daemon are off to King's Landing, knowing that this big dragon that Aemon is riding has left King's Landing, so they feel it's open. So they go in with their dragons, and they go on somewhat of a killing spree, somewhat of a threatening spree to go and take the throne. And Alicent's father is the only person that they can find in the keep because everybody's abandoned. Aegon's not there anymore. He's off. They sent him away. Aemon's gone. Alicent's nowhere to be found at the moment, but they did find Alicent's father, and I can't remember his name. He's played by Ray Sci-Fi's Ross. Yep, that's what it is. And he's in the prison cells. He's been in there since the beginning or middle of last season, I think.
Yep.
This is a couple of years ago, so I can't remember, but he's been in the prison cells down below. And when Daemon's going around trying to find Alicent and trying to find Aegon, he ends up finding him and says, "Ooh, you'd be even better." And he brings her to Rhaenyra, and Rhaenyra, and Rhaenyra she's very powerful as far as, I mean, she is the queen. She's the heir of the throne. But she's not, how would I say this? She's not, she doesn't have the confidence of a queen at this point.
Correct.
So Daemon's trying to get her to kill him as just a point. Like, you're the queen now, make a point, show everybody your
really
power.
Confidence. It's more or less the fact that she doesn't think she can swing a sword hard enough to strike off my head. Remember in the very first scene in Game of Thrones where Ned Stark has to swing it, and that's a big thing about the books. Remember Theon couldn't chop that dude's head off in season 3 or 2, because it's a lot harder than you think, and that's a big contention. I'm going through the books right now again in hopes that George will release Winds of Winter by the time I'm caught up, but he won't. But yeah, a lot of them, whenever they have to behead somebody, they don't think they have the strength to do it. Which happened with Jon Snow also in the books. Because you gotta swing that thing hard, you know.
And they show it in this episode when she goes to cut off his head. She misses and goes below his neck and digs the sword right into his back. And then she lifts up the sword again, and she does get it in the second blow, and she does cut his head off. And his head goes rolling. And she's shaking. She's walking through his blood. And she's walking up to the throne. She's kind of shaking. She's all nerved up. And she sits on the throne. And then Allison, who had tried to run away with her daughter, Allison and her daughter come running in the throne room because they were captured. And she looks down on the ground, sees her father's head on the ground. Rhaenyra sees her, gasps, and kind of in one of the greatest scenes I think ever on this show. You see her, like, the fear in her eyes when she sees Allison walking in, and then she just picks up her composure.
Yep.
And right as the credits roll, and it's like, okay, now I need to be royal. I need to show my.
She was a powerhouse of an actress this entire episode.
Oh yeah. It was all facial expressions too.
I'm not gonna get into what the books do, obviously, because it's future spoilers, but they are changing stuff, especially with the Allison stuff. Because Allison basically was like, take the throne. I don't want this to happen, which doesn't happen in the books. And now I really wonder what's going to happen to Allison if they're not going to go the route they do in the books, which I'll talk about after. It apparently will or will not happen. We'll be able to talk about that in the future. But yeah, great episode.
Yeah, awesome episode.
I like the show a lot. It's been good. So.
Highest rated episode for the House of Dragons series ever. 9.4 out of 10. This is last week. I don't know if it's been updated. But yeah, she takes her rightful spot on the throne, depending on who you talk to. Rhaenyra now sitting on the Iron Throne. Setting up what's going to happen with Aemon comes back, what's going to happen when they find Aegon, because Aegon is captured. He's on a carriage somewhere in Westeros. Who knows where he's at, where they're going. And there's other people coming to the throne. That guy that's in the encampment there, we're going to learn more about him next episode. I don't even know who that guy is, but he's a big brooding guy, a Targaryen, I guess. But we'll get into all that next week. And did you have a chance to finish The Bear season 5 last week?
I'm halfway through.
You're halfway through.
It's tough for me, especially when it's as busy as it's been, to concentrate and watch something I really want to watch after a day of work. So literally, most nights I get home and I might play Fortnite for a half hour and put on YouTube videos or something. But I did watch the first 2 episodes last week, and then I watched 2 more. It's 8 altogether, right?
8 altogether, yeah.
Yeah, so I watched 2 more this morning before I went out to lunch.
Yep, very good show. Very good ending, although I wanted a little bit more, but you're not going to get
We'll
much
spoil
more.
it next week. We'll get into spoilers
we'll definitely
next week.
We'll spoil it next week, but Jeremy Allen White is a huge star now. He's in big blockbuster movies, so this was bound to happen in the final season.
We didn't even know we were getting a 5th season until we all thought it was ending in season 4 last year.
That was a perfect ending too, kind of.
Yep.
But it did leave it open a little bit, and that's where the season leads off.
Because they didn't know if they would be able to make it. Because him, the girl, obviously, what's his name is in Marvel.
Ebon Moss, Baccarat.
They're all kind of getting jobs off of this. Yep. Yeah. So.
Great show. That's on Hulu right now. If anybody wants to watch along, we'll talk about that, maybe the whole series in long form next week. But
yes.
Did you have a chance to watch the new Larry David Life?
That's planned for tonight. I'm watching it tonight. Yeah, I'm watching that. I'm gonna watch everything I haven't watched. I'm watching tonight. I like to watch things on Friday nights after.
The premiere, awesome. This every Friday night. And it's a anthology of history. Larry's telling it through his own humor, that curb style of humor. And there's just by the first episode, it was about 33 minutes, and he tackled 4 subjects: drafting the Declaration, Alexander Graham Bell, World War I, and Rosa Parks. I'm not going to get into it because you haven't seen them. There's some great guest stars. I have them in the notes. You can see them there, but We'll talk about that as it goes on. I believe there's 8 episodes of that as well, and ends in August.
As an aside, I found a Twitter account that tweets things from like the colonial periods as if they're like late breaking news, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it,
followed
but
it,
it's
yeah,
kind of
'cause-
blown up in the last week or two. Okay.
Well, it's because right now it's like yesterday was the second, it's the actual day that the declaration was signed. So they're like,
Yep.
breaking news, declaration was signed in
Yes.
Philadelphia today. So, yeah, that's a great Twitter
Yep.
follow if you find it. I found a show. I've been hearing about it off and on all week. The last couple of weeks, I watched the first episode today, and it's fucking great. Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed. It's on Apple TV.
I've heard
It
about it.
stars Iman
Is it good?
Vellani, whatever her name
Okay.
is. I can't remember her name, but she
Yep.
was She-Hulk. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a thriller, a lot of comedy in it too. Jake Johnson's in it. He's awesome. But it's on
Nice.
Apple TV, and I believe it ends in a couple weeks. So I'm going to binge it in the next couple of weeks. I may talk about it when the finale airs, middle of the month. But awesome show, great show. Apple TV never disappoints. Their shows are awesome. And we had another premiere this week. Did you have a chance to watch the 3-episode premiere of X-Men 97?
I have not. That is also on my list of potentially watching tonight. I kind of lost interest a lot during season 1 after the Gambit incident. It's still a great show.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
just that's my guy. I fucking love Gambit.
Did you see the spoilers for this?
I have
episode?
not. Spoil it away. I don't care.
Okay, we'll talk about it then. First of all, 3 episodes aired. First episode was set in the past, right? First episode was set in the past, where everybody was set in the past. The end of the series, season finale of season 1. And you see, no, in the future, sorry. And you see Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and they meet a young Nathan Summers from the future because they sent their son into the future, and Nathan Summers ends up becoming Cable. And they're trying to find their way back home into normal time, into modern time. And that's where that episode kind of leads off. Episode 2. The title sequence of this episode is all X-Force. They changed all the X-Men into the X-Force, and they named the episode X-Force 97. X-Factor is part of this as well. 2 teams are huge in the 90s. And you see more Cable in that. You see his version of X-Force with his Archangel, Sunspot, Psylocke, Jubilee, and him. And no Deadpool, but it's bound to happen. Hello, Aegon. And that was awesome. Episode 3, set in the past. That's the one that was set in ancient Egypt. You meet the original version of Apocalypse, Abun Ra. I can't remember what his name is, but and you meet all the X-Men that were stuck in the past: Beast, Magneto, Professor Xavier, Rogue, Nightcrawler. They're all in the past trying to find their way back home. And there's it hinted throughout the whole episode that there's a big bad. It's somebody that's even controlling and putting everybody into as a slave in Egypt. That's not Apocalypse, somebody else. Come to find out that person is Rama Tut. Now, rewind a little bit. Time out, rewind. Rama Tut has been in the MCU before. We've talked about Rama Tut a lot before. He was going to be the big bad of this whole entire universe. But it didn't happen, and they changed it to Doctor Doom because Rama Tut is the original, very first variant of Kang the Conqueror.
Right.
And he's shown at the end of the episode, and he's controlling everything. He's running a whole slave empire in Egypt, and Apocalypse is trying to stop him, and that's kind of where the whole episode is leading. But yeah, he is one of the variants. They brought Kang back into the MCU. This is not considered MCU.
It's adjacent.
Like, it's adjacent, but you know it's part of Marvel. Marvel's in charge of it. Kevin Feige produces this show. He loved the original X-Men. That's where he was producer on the first X-Men movie. That's where he got to start in Hollywood. So he loves the X-Men animated series, the movies, and everything. So when the mutant saga is going to happen in the MCU, he's going to have his finger on the pulse of that whole entire saga. Hopefully with the DNA of this show and the original show from the 90s. But yeah, we got Kang the Conqueror, a variant of Kang the Conqueror in this show, which changes the multiverse fuckery of everything that got fucked up with Jonathan Majors. And it kind of hopefully will bring this character back into prominence. I'm not sure if they'll ever bring him back into the MCU, but it's great to see him in this. And he's going to be the big bad, I think, going forward in this as well. So awesome. I thought it was going to be an Apocalypse episode, and everybody's saying this is the 3 episodes. Everybody's saying that the 4th episode is fucking incredible. And that comes out on Tuesday night, so I can't wait. I love this show. I love the original show. It's one of my first loves, way before Star Wars. This is the Spider-Man series were my obsessions as a kid. So great show. This is on Disney Plus right now. You watch the 3 episodes if you want. Before we get into the movies that we watched, or that I finally watched, I want to talk about a documentary on Netflix. I love Sam Cooke. I've loved his music for a while, but I really got into it probably in the last 10 years. And there's a documentary all about his life and his killing that happened, his murder that happened. It's on Netflix called Remastered: The Two Killings of Sam Cooke. It's incredible. It came out in 2019, so I'm very late to the party, but I didn't want to bring it up now, how awesome it is. And how there is not a movie of his life yet is a travesty, because he was at the top of his game when he died. He was if you ever saw the movie One Night in Miami, it was him, Malcolm X, Jim Brown, the football player, and Muhammad Ali. They all had one night together in a hotel room where they kind of talked about how Black lives in America in the 50s or 60s, whenever it happened, the civil rights movie, kind of the beginning of that, and how they were trying to fight for their rights as being African Americans in America and being segregated and trying to fight for all that. That's a great movie. We talked about that. I don't even know if we were doing the podcast when that came out. It may have been pre-podcast. So we definitely watched it together, but I think it may have been when we were doing our watches back in the day. This is one of the very first Prime movies that we watched. But great movie. But this is kind of a continuation of that too. This documentary came out because of that. But great documentary, and his story. He was the biggest pop star. And he was black, and it was right when television started. It was black and white TV, and you hear his voice on the radio, and you see him on TV. He's like, wow, that's a black guy, but he sounds fucking incredible. And a lot of white people loved him. And it kind of became a connection to the black movement at the time, civil rights movement, to Americans at the time. But the record label wouldn't let him come out with these protest songs that later were released after he died, like Change Gonna Come, which is a huge song, one of the biggest pop songs ever. Didn't come out until after he died. The record label wouldn't release it, especially the original version where he talked about civil rights ideas. And it did come out once he passed, but he died in a mysterious way in a hotel room. They said it was with a hooker, and they talk about it a little bit in the end of this, but kind of crazy story. And like I said, it's surprised it's not a movie, a motion picture yet. It should be, or even a mini series. Surprised it has not happened yet. And the story happened 60, 70 years ago. So I'm surprised, but I'm sure it will eventually. What's his name was in Hamilton, played him in One Night in Miami. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was incredible. He did the singing in that as well. I would love to see him play this character in a movie too. He died very young as well, but great documentary. It's on Netflix, a remaster of The Two Killings of Sam Cooke. Now let's get into some movies. Oh boy, speaking of Netflix, John Cena had a brand new movie come out last week with Eric Andre called Little Brother, stealing the font right out of Little Caesars, by the way. If you see the poster there. This was supposed to be a comedy, but I did not laugh at all in this whole entire movie.
It doesn't look good now, like Eric Andre, so.
He is very, I don't like him that much either. I love Jackass. He's kind of like a version of Jackass, but with that whole like Cartoon Network at night thing, whatever they used to be called. I can't remember what they used to call that, but he used to have a TV show on there, that like a talk show, a fake talk show. He used to go and do that with him and Hannibal Buress used to be like his Ed McMahon. But this movie, John Cena picks his roles, but this is not a good choice for him. Was not a huge fan of it. It wasn't funny, and just even them together, I wasn't a huge fan of. 2 out of 5 for me. There were some enjoyable parts. But yeah, not a good movie. It's on Netflix. If you want to watch it for free, it's on there. But the big review this week, something I've been waiting for the last 2 days to talk to you about. Kevin watched this when it came out 2 months ago, but It took me a while to finally get into it, but Obsession, holy God. It's a thriller. It's a horror movie. It is fucking insane.
Mhm.
And it's not scary to the point of a traditional horror
It's
movie,
not-
but it is.
No, it's also
It
something I
is
feel like
fucking.
I feel like anyone can relate to the story, being in a friend group and having a crush on some, or just in general having a crush on somebody, and you don't know if they
Yes.
like you or not.
Yep.
But yeah, get into it. I want to hear your thoughts.
Curry Barker, 26-year-old kid, pitched this idea. He was a YouTube creator. Him and his partner, who ends up starring in this, we'll get into that in a minute, but pitched the idea, inspired by the Simpsons episode Treehouse of Horror 2 from the second season. It's where Homer has a monkey paw, and he ends up making three wishes, and they all turn bad. And that was also based off a 1902 short story. So this story has been around for a while, but he wanted to create it to the form of two, a woman and a guy, kind of obsessed with each other, but he is obsessed with her. He makes a wish, so she falls in love with him. If you see in the trailer, you kind of know the story. And the wish is created by this novelty. If you ever go to like a magic shop, or you ever seen a magic catalog, or you go to a novelty magazine back in the day, you see these little things on there, and they would be like little things like make a wish on this. Or, well, he created this completely out of his mind. His mother is a graphic design artist and helped him create the packaging in this item, which is called the One Wish Willow. And it's a stick. They put it in a box. You open up the box. There's music that plays. We're gonna into some spoilers on this because I don't really give a shit. You should watch the movie. It's awesome. There's not really too much you can spoil. We won't get into the big stuff, but that is the big thing, and that's the crux of this. This is what he wishes this woman that he works with would fall in love with him. And boy, does his wish go wrong. Three things in this movie. The suspense of this movie is built by its score. I have no idea who did the score, but fuck, that is what built this movie for me. I had my speakers up high a couple nights ago while I was watching this, and every little crazy thing that was happening with the lead of this, Indy Navarrete, I don't know how to say her name, who plays Nikki Navarrete. It is incredible how that score plays off with everything crazy that she does. The strings that go nuts. Right? She's from Superman and Lois.
Yes, and that's
she
how
plays
she ended up
Lana's daughter,
because they cut her role in that show for the fourth season. That's how she booked this film. This was filmed like 2.5 years ago, and that's how she ended up with it. Because they cut her role in that, so she had time.
Yeah, that's the second thing. The three things. First thing was the score. Second thing is her. She's fucking incredible.
She's so good.
And this actually shows her prowess as an actress, and she's gonna get a ton of roles from this, and she's gonna be in everything in Hollywood. She's the next Hollywood girl. If she doesn't get any Oscar noms, I'd be surprised. And Michael Johnson as Bear. Michael Johnson does the voice of young Nathan Summers in X-Men 97, by the way, in this last couple episodes. But he plays Bear, who is the kid in the poster. If you're watching on YouTube, he's the guy that makes the wish with the one wish willow. And she falls in love with him with really bad consequences, and she's obsessed with him to the point of some crazy shit that happens in the movie. Some freaky shit. Reminds me of some stuff that happened in It. The stuff that I loved most about the It movies, where you see in the background, you see a woman kind of going crazy and walking like a spider walk in the background and shit. You see weird stuff like that in this too in the background. I love that. And this whole thing created by a Simpsons episode is going to be creating a film universe. Curry Barker's next movie is called Anything But Ghost, starring Cooper Tomlinson, who is his writing partner, who is creative partner. He helped create the next movie, and Curry Barker is going to direct it. But he plays Ann in this. He's the guy who's kind of has an off again relationship with Nikki, and Bear does not know that. It's kind of Bear's best friend. They're having an off again romp together. They're all in this friend group together, but they're doing another movie, and that's going to star Aaron Paul and Bryce Dallas Howard and Cooper Tomlinson, who plays Ann in this movie. He co-created it, and he's going to star in it. So, and he's also going to create a universe. He's talking about, and I don't know. He said that parts of this movie will be referenced in the next movie.
Yes.
And he also mentioned that there is an option to tell this story in episodic television series, telling each episode, telling new stories of how a Wish Willow is making wishes poorly. You see that throughout this as well. There is one scene when he gives the thing to Anne to try to stop her from this obsession, and he said, "Oh, I want $1 billion." $1 billion falls from the ceiling. So there's going to be stories like that in this episodic television he wants to talk about. But awesome universe, I love it. The movie, what everybody knows about this movie is it cost $750,000 to make. They offered him $2 million to make it. He said no, because the reason why they offered him that much money, they wanted him to. What did they want him to do? There was something he refused to do for $2 million.
It was
the story point that they wanted him to do is like, no, I can't. Oh, they wanted to be a hero.
The hero.
Yeah, they wanted to be the hero at the end, and that spoiler did not happen. Because you're making a wish for somebody to fall in love with you, and throughout the movie, you see the old Nikki kind of come out, like, "What are you doing to me? Stop! Just kill me!"
Yeah, he basically raped her. Essentially,
basically raped her. Yeah, yeah. So overall, great fucking movie. 4.5 out of 5. One of the best horror movies I've ever seen in a while. Not in the traditional sense, of course. And it's weird because this movie is still doing great in theaters. It's making like $10 million a week still. And then they released it prematurely, I believe, digitally. I'm glad I saw it, but it's just they should have waited. If it's still number 3 in the box office this week, they should have waited. But $374 million box office to date worldwide, 237 of that in North America. So huge win for the studio that did it. Is this A24? This one's A24, right?
Yeah.
Or is
So
this
It's
Blumhouse? This
A24.
is Bloom.
Oh, it is
This
Blumhouse?
is Blumhouse.
Was it 24
this one's
Backrooms?
Blumhouse.
Okay.
Yeah, Backrooms is I get them mixed up. We were called out on YouTube about that as well. But yeah, I believe this is Blumhouse. Great fucking movie, worth seeing. I'm not a huge horror fan, but I love this type of horror. Of course, Supernatural. I love that. So, great movie. Watch it. It's streaming on iTunes and Amazon Prime if you buy movies. But great movie, awesome movie. With that being said, let's get into the news. And it's not a news segment of the trailer roundup. Got a couple of trailers to talk about. We got a brand new trailer for Motor City with Alan Ritchson. This comes out in the end of the month, July 24th. Starring him, Ben Foster, Pablo Schreiber, Shailene Woodley, set in it looks like the 80s, where he gets sent to prison. He gets covered up. They end up sending him to jail for something he didn't do. His girlfriend and Ben Foster, and he comes out of jail and wants to seek revenge against them, and goes on a rampage. So.
Looks good.
Alan Ritchson doing Alan Ritchson things. We'll talk about more about him in a little bit. And another trailer for Mahershala Ali's new movie, Tramell Tillman, Giancarlo Esposito, called Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother. Film follows a religious hitman who struggles to balance work, faith, and fatherhood. Trailer looked great. I love all 3 of those guys. Comes out October 9th. Can hunt that down. And we got the trailer for Werewolf, Robert Eggers' new movie. The dialogue is going to be set in 1300s Middle English. He said that he worked with 2 Oxford professors on the dialogue, Middle English dialogue. So, I love Robert Eggers. The movies I've seen from him. The only one I haven't seen is The Lighthouse, which you've told me is kind of So,
it's you're either gonna love it or hate it. It's one of those.
Yeah, I do like what I've seen so far from him. So, let's get into the news. Box office last week. Toy Story won the box office with $70 million in the second week. Supergirl, number 2, $38 million. It was estimated at the beginning of the weekend to make $50 million. We'll get into that in a minute. Obsession, $9.8 million for number 3 in its 7th week. That's what I'm saying. Like, they should have waited a couple more weeks until at least it dropped out of the top 3. It would have made another $10 million this weekend, but I'm sure a lot of people watched it at home. But the big news this week was Supergirl. Crash landed is what this article says. $68 million opening weekend on the global box office scale. Considered the biggest disaster in a long time for Warner Brothers. They expected a lot more, did not get it. They needed to make at least 450 to 500 million total just to break even. And they're saying it could be, after everything is said and done, it could lose anywhere from 100 to 200 million dollars after everything is said and done with the when it's in theaters. Everybody said it's a bad look on where's James Gunn. Everybody's coming against James Gunn. I haven't really been on to see, but I'm sure the Snyder clan is going nuts. Yeah, going nuts against James Gunn.
Oh yeah, Zach's coming,
especially where
back. And
right,
course,
especially when
now they all say
right.
Sasha Calle is their Supergirl, and I'm like, you fucking assholes, you clowns never fucking watched The Flash because of her in the movie replacing Henry Cavill. It's just one of those. It's the internet, man.
Yeah, we liked the movie. We weren't in love with the movie, and we said it was kind of a little bit better than mid. That was my review. But we were called misogynistic just because we weren't in love with the movie. Even in our review, even though we didn't post on our even if we didn't say it, it wasn't in our short, but we did say we loved Millie Alcock.
She's great.
The cast in the movie, it's just the writing and the dialogue are not good.
Right.
Compared to the comic book, it did not transfer well. We love her, and we cannot wait to see her in Man of Tomorrow and continuing the arc of Kara, but they fumbled the story, unfortunately, and we were both looking forward. We've been looking forward to this movie all year. So ever since it was first announced for you, but when I first heard about it, when I first read the comic book, this is gonna be a great movie if they stick to it. And they didn't. They unfortunately didn't stick to it all the way, and they fucked up the villain as well. Krem is a forgettable villain when in the comic book. Even at the end, you're kind of like, what's happened with Crypto? Like that's kind of like taking second fiddle to everything again. Like in the beginning of the movie, he's the kind of the precipice of what's going on in the rest of the movie, and then they kind of abandon it towards the end until the end, and then they go back to it, but still.
And the whole kryptonite thing, like he shouldn't have known about kryptonite like that. So that's the biggest thing for me. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to watch it again.
Right, like how does he know about the?
I already ordered the 4K, so
yeah, I have it in the news
because the writing wasn't great.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but visually stunning movie. And it is more of the universe that I wanted to see when I saw Superman. So I did love that. We're gonna get more of the galactic version of this universe and Lanterns, of course. So I'm excited for that as well. But was not fully in love with the movie. I love the characters though, and I'll stick by that. We're not misogynistic.
I wanted to love this movie. I wanted to love this movie so much, and I just liked it.
Yeah, me too.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
Obsession is still my favorite movie of the year. Right up there with Project Hail Mary, I'd say.
I think you're dead on that.
They're so tough.
You're dead on that. Yep. And we're only halfway through, so there's a lot more coming out. So yeah, Peter Safran had to make a statement with all the backlash that happened. While Supergirl didn't meet our box office expectations, it's just one component of a broader long-term strategy at DC Studios. So they remain confident. They're more. I mean, number one, this is going to do huge on HBO Max. Huge numbers. And a lot of people are saying, well, they should have just waited and put it on HBO Max. Well, they wouldn't have made the 40 million at least. And it may bring in some subscribers.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Also, people saying that they shouldn't have gone straight into a Supergirl movie. That's debatable. I mean, but like, what if they went straight into a Batman movie and that script was bad? Then the universe would pretty much be completely sank. They went with a relatively safer option in case it bombed, I guess. The only other issue people bring up is the fact that Clayface is the one that is they put Clayface on the same year. But again, that could be really good, and it was made cheap. So they should easily be able to make their money back from that. Because we still got Lanterns. It's not just a cinematic universe. It's a whole universe. Overall, we got Mr. Miracle coming up, which I can't wait for that show. So, yeah.
Everybody's saying that Clayface is testing through the roof. So I cannot wait for that. The horror element is chalked right up to being awesome. So Also, Peter Safran's talking about how the DCEU, the Snyderverse beforehand, was very uneven, and they wanted to rebuild that universe, rebuild the trust
Right.
with Superman, with this movie, with Clayface, with the universe they build, which I think DC had lost. Which he said he thinks DC had lost over the years. So, yeah, kind of cleaning up the mess that this movie made, and like you mentioned, took it a little too easy. Took it a little too easy. When Kevin Smith says your movie is okay, there's a problem.
I saw they were live last night. Did he just think it was okay?
Oh yeah, he said it was okay. When he says that, you know there's an issue. So hopefully they can straighten up.
The man cried during The Last Jedi, for fuck's sake. We all know how that. I mean, I'm more a fan of that movie, obviously, but yeah.
He loved Quantumania too. So
that is true.
The other thing he said was the movie should go into more lore of if they're in space, why didn't we see any lanterns? Kind of obvious. Why haven't we seen lanterns other than Superman? We could have seen him in this. Just stuff like that. Just little nitpicking things. But still excited for the universe. Even after all of that, still excited. Still excited for what
I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to watch it again. Yeah. I'm pumped for
Can't
Lanterns.
wait for Lanterns.
Lanterns
Can't
will
wait
end,
for that.
We'll start 3 weeks, I think, after House of the Dragon ends, something like that, right? Maybe even 2 weeks after House of the Dragon on Sundays at 9 p.m. I believe it's a Sunday 9 p.m. show. So,
yeah, and they say this is the make it or break it moment for Warner Brothers. It's not. The make it or break it moment is Man of Tomorrow next year.
Yes.
If that fails, that'll be when the question of James Gunn's control of this company comes into question.
Yeah, his contract is up, I believe, though, before that movie comes out. So it really depends on the sale, to be honest, what they want to do with him. They might just extend him a few more months beyond that to see.
And they're also bringing up the fact that Peacemaker didn't do as well with an audience as people thought it would. They're bringing it up now. The other thing that they're bringing up, I just had it in my mind. I forgot. Had to do with Supergirl. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, we'll talk all about this later on. But we get into the rest of the news. Comcast is going to spin off NBC Universal into 2 separate public companies. The new NBC Universal is going to include Universal Pictures, NBC, Telemundo, Peacock, Sky, and the theme parks. And the Comcast is going to spin off of that. Comcast, of course, the Xfinity over here, where I live, the cable company. So, and I'm sure that'll pass with flying colors through the Department of whatever it is. I saw this story and I needed to bring it up because vigilantes are of course illegal, but in Mexico, a vigilante is going around in Mexico and calling himself Batman and chasing down suspected motorbike thieves and taping them to lampposts and putting fake mustaches and whiskers on them and tying them up onto lampposts.
Alrighty.
Still wanted in Mexico, but yeah, I love to see real vigilantes going around and creating justice for themselves. Came out yesterday. Danny Glover, I believe he showed up on the Today Show or one of those Good Morning Americas, and revealed that Danny Glover has Alzheimer's. He's been dealing with it for a few years, and he's kind of taken a step back from Hollywood because of it. So sad to see that. Danny Glover, we grew up with him, of course, in the Lethal Weapon movies. With Mel Gibson, but older gentleman. He was also in Psych, I believe, episode of Psych. So great actor back in the day. Sad to see, but getting old. It means we're getting old as well. Far Cry. Talk about some TV news. Far Cry, the original series coming out on FX, has cast Rob McElhenney and Lizzie Kaplan to star in the Far Cry series. I believe it's going to be show run by the guy who created the game as well.
Yes.
So love Rob Mack. And Netflix also doing a Murder of John Benet Ramsey limited series to release in the wintertime, starring Melissa McCarthy and Clive Owens. That story is still unsolved to this day. Happened 30 years ago. It's the 30th anniversary this year. That's why this is coming out.
That was everywhere for years, that story.
It was everywhere.
Lifetime movies, they did everything.
Yeah, she went missing. She was. Then they found her downstairs in the basement of their home and had no idea she was down there. She was killed down there. and the parents got off. The parents were suspects and ended up getting off and were not charged for the murders. So we'll probably watch that. Comes out on Netflix. I do like Melissa McCarthy in some things. I haven't seen her in a dramatic role, so I'm not sure how she'll be in that. But yeah. Dexter Resurrection, bringing back Kristen Ritter, who, spoiler, died last season. So I don't know how they're going to do that. But Dexter Resurrection currently filming. So hopefully we'll get that before the end of the year. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Netflix released a trailer for this new reality show, Willy Wonka reality show called Willy Wonka's The Golden Ticket, where they go and they recreated the whole entire chocolate factory in this reality television show. And the promotion of it also recreated in AI Gene Wilder's voice to promote it. It was awkward. It was strange. I was not in love with how they did it, but I love Gene Wilder. I love that movie. Not a fan of how they used AI to promote it, but it's going to be on Netflix, reality competition series of some sort. So keep an eye on that. And we already had a crazy August. We already talked about Lanterns coming out. We talked about House of Dragons ending. We're getting Reacher season 4 on August 12th.
Nice.
It's going to be on Prime. The first episode premieres, and we're also getting Neely, the spinoff of that, starring his friend Neely, who was in the series with him, and that's coming out September 16th. So they're coming out parallel to each other, in the month of September. So love Reacher, love that. So August just got crazier. Cannot wait. And Tom Hardy, after all that hoopla of him leaving the series, being fired from the series, sorted it out with the creators, and he's going to be coming back for season 3. Season 2 hasn't even been out, by the way, but they haven't written season 3, but he's coming back for it. So yeah, I love Tom Hardy. I love that show. So I'm glad they kind of straightened everything out.
Probably the backlash and everything else. They just kind of figured they'd pay him what he was worth.
Yeah. A24. Is going to release Backrooms again this weekend in theaters. A new cut called Backroom Everything Must Go Edition, including 15 minutes of bonus footage and a theatrically exclusive post-credits sequence done by the director Kane Parsons, clocking in at 2 hours and 6 minutes at his theaters today. And the movie's still not on digital. Probably in the next couple of weeks I could see that happening once they get the 4th of July weekend box office run. So excited to see that as well. Although you said it definitely wasn't as good as Obsession, but excited to see Backrooms.
Yeah, it's good. It's a very well done movie. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah. Brand new look at Coyote versus Acme. We got Will Forte there and the Wile E. Coyote looking through a door. We also got brand new character posters for The Social Reckoning with a tagline, "We're way past making friends." Of course, Facebook being the prominent part of this movie, starring Mikey Madison, Jeremy Allen White, and Jeremy Strong as Mark Zuckerberg. So done by Aaron Sorkin again, and this sequel, semi-sequel to the first movie. So brand new poster for 72 Hours with Kevin Hart and a whole bunch of Saturday Night Live guys, Cam Patterson and whatever the other guys' names are. Comes out July 24th, free on Netflix. Not sure if I'll watch that or not because it looks kind of corny. Josh Gad joined the cast of the new Oceans prequel, Oceans whatever it's going to be called, starring Margot Robbie and Bradley Cooper. Like Josh Gad, so excited for that. The other big news this week we're going to get into is GTA 6 made $39 million in pre-orders, $3 billion in revenue before the game even launches. 39 million people pre-ordered it, sorry. And it comes out in November. I did not pre-order it. The other news that came out about this is yesterday and the day before, I think it was the day before, PlayStation announced that they are completely ending production of physical discs, physical media for the PlayStation starting in 2028, which is probably when the new PlayStation 6 comes out. That's why they set that date. But set a storm through the internet, through physical media companies, saying that they are against this. Because what's the sense of owning a PlayStation if you don't own the disc? Like, this is a perfect time if Apple wanted to go into the console wars. go in now because it'll be a war between digital versions because it came out after this came out. The Xbox is planning the same thing. It's just PlayStation was first to pull the trigger. So the next console war is all going to be all digital. But it'd be a perfect time for Apple to jump in the console war if they wanted to make an Apple TV powerful enough to play games like this. And I think they could. The MacBooks are powerful enough. They could probably make an even smaller system that does the same exact thing a PlayStation does with less power, less everything, and do cloud gaming like PlayStation does. I can see that. I can see that happening. I'm not sure what the plan is for Apple. I know they're huge into mobile games, but
Now,
why not at this point? Why would you need a PlayStation?
I wonder if because they could also make some money this way too, is if they have, say, backwards capability, backwards playability.
Yep.
If they'll sell an accessory that you can plug into your PlayStation 6 to play PS5 games you might have on disc. I wonder if they'll sell that because they can capitalize on that too and sell that for like $150.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. You know, the thing about PlayStation, Xbox does it too. They're all obsessed with the subscription library thing that they have. It's like $170 a year, where they have quite a big, huge library already on there.
I haven't bought a physical game since PlayStation 4. Probably.
I haven't either. But the thing about digital, and this goes with movies as well, you're buying the license. You're not buying the game. So if they just decide one day that
another
we're
big
take it
thing
off
with
the store,
PlayStation, because they just deleted all of their movies that people have
500.
Yeah,
there's 500 movies. I think it's only in the UK. 500 movies done by Studio Canal over there. Canal. And 500 movies. They lost the licensing partnership with them. So any movie that you bought that was produced by them is going to be deleted from your PlayStation store, and that included like Terminator 2, some big ones.
Yes,
some big, huge movies. So if you bought those on PlayStation, you're shit out of luck. I owned all my movies on iTunes. I don't think I own anything I don't think I've ever bought anything on PlayStation. So
no, who buys movies on PlayStation? I mean, maybe if you had a gift card or something, you would. But besides that, I would.
Right, that would be the thing. They're also PlayStation also shuttering their store for the PS3 and the Vita. They're about 10 years. 10 years after that, both those consoles were even out. So not surprised. And if you ever bought any games on a PS3 back in the day and you still have one, you can still download those games up to a year from now when they shut the United States store down. So I think I may have bought some games on the PS3, so I gotta log into mine and download them. I think I bought like Simpsons Arcade or something that's not available anywhere else right now. So if you've done that, go back to your PlayStation 3 or your account if you have one, and download those games, because you won't be able to in July 2027. They're going to shutter it. So let's get into some swag.
Swag stuff we are.
Come on, son. You know that's right.
A great Iron Studios figure with Supergirl with the ship that she lands on Earth with and Crypto. Looks awesome. I love Iron Studios. I think they're some of the best dioramas.
Yeah, they're good.
This is what you just talked about pre-ordering. The 4K steel book for Supergirl comes with the Supergirl One of Tomorrow comic book, and of course a steel book with Lobo and Supergirl on it. Looks awesome. Speaking of that movie, the producer confirms that Supergirl leads into Man of Tomorrow, and Millie Alcock has a big part of that movie. We kind of already knew that. So, Supergirl everywhere right now. Also in the future of the DCU. Speaking of DCU, got a lot of DC news this week. First one is Deathstroke and Bane. Reportedly, after this movie came out, it became the priority status for DCU. Haven't heard anything other than that. They're currently writing the script. No director is signed on yet, but Greg Mottola was rumored to be the one that DC's eyeing just because he directed some episodes of Peacemaker season 2, but he directed Superbad. We talked about him before. Deathstroke and Bane. I think they should definitely stick with landing on the Trinity right now, especially with Hollywood going against Warner Brothers. They need to go with what matters most to this universe, and that would be Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. You've got Superman down pat. I think A Man of Tomorrow has a great chance of being awesome next year. Batman, we know Brave and Bold is happening. We just don't know when. But Wonder Woman, we don't know anything about. We don't even know. There's rumors that she shows up in Man of Tomorrow, especially with what's her name being cast.
Lobo's girlfriend is playing Wonder Woman,
Lobo's
yes.
girlfriend.
Or Lobo's girlfriend's in the
rumors.
movie. And James Gunn, I don't know if you noticed this, but he's really learned from that first 2 years. He doesn't really comment on shit anymore, huh? Like,
No,
you don't hear
he's
him
shut down.
say anything.
But he's also producing and directing Man of Tomorrow. So he's busy
Yeah.
right now, but he's on threads
even
every once in a
before
while.
that,
He'll
but
say
yeah.
something. Even before that, yeah, he's very, very tight-lipped.
Yes.
I think going back 3 years now, I think he was premature with his list of all the projects that they wanted to do for the DCU. Very ambitious. I know some of them are still happening. Some of them have been canceled or been put on the back burner. But after that, he did kind of slow down on the output of what he's talking about, which is unfortunate because I'm wondering if it's funny because Comic-Con happens 4 weeks from now. And nothing has been announced as far as panels. And I know Marvel's said to be there. I'm not sure if DC is going to be there because he's busy filming right now. But maybe for Lanterns, I could see happening. But there's no news on if DC is going to be there or not. Comic-Con's a huge point of a jump-off point for everybody.
If they don't show up at Comic-Con, they need to start doing that DC, whatever they call
Fandom.
it. Fandom.
Yeah, Fandom. Yeah. That was incredible.
Because remember, they stopped filming Man of Tomorrow for the Supergirl premiere. So for them to use that as an excuse for not showing up to Comic-Con this year would be weak. Like last year, I kind of get it. Like he was really focusing on Superman. But to do that for this time, I mean, you really can't use that as an excuse if you shut it down so everyone can go to a fucking movie premiere, you know?
Yeah, I think he needs to answer to the fans in the backlash, even though he probably doesn't want to. I think he needs to, and I think he needs to kind of
he can't win
fire
because
out.
I mean, in theory, that's a great idea, but he really can't win with the way fans are on the internet. I mean, I agree. I think he should, but they said they're going to announce what they're doing when he's done filming Man of Tomorrow. So I'm sure once that's filmed or completely filmed, he's probably going to meet with the people at Paramount. A lot of people say he's not going to want to work for Paramount because there'll be $80 billion in debt. But I'm sure that they would want to cut his salary, but I assume he'd want to keep his job. And if he's out, he'll probably be able to work with any studio he wants to and do whatever he wants. So I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
For sure.
We'll see. Lot really hinges on that Paramount deal.
Yeah. And for everybody that calls Supergirl a ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy, you're so far off.
It wasn't even like that at all.
Wasn't even close. Going to the Marvel news of the week, Millie Bobby Brown, before she was in Stranger Things, said that she screen tested for the X-23 role in the Logan movie. That would have changed that movie completely because I love what's her name, Daphne Keane, who played X-23 in that movie. That would have changed her trajectory as an actress completely. So kind of glad that she wasn't cast in that. Second trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day came out last week. Second biggest trailer launch of all time, 590 million views in its first week. The number one was the first trailer for Brand New Day. So yeah, great trailer. We talked about it in depth. We're not going to get into much of it, but we did see some more comic accurate looks of comic to screen looks. Of course, on the top left there, we got Scorpion from the comic book and Scorpion in the movie fighting Spider-Man. We also got some first looks at what Sadie Sink's going to look like in some promotional photos of the movie. We also got the very first look at Tombstone there, another promotional look of the movie. And behind the scene look of Boomerang, with the production coordinator, I believe, of the movie, taking care of his costume between shots. So cannot wait for the movie. Very, very excited. See if everything else there. I don't think so. And the big rumor that's been coming out, I didn't want to bring it up, but I kept seeing it this week, so I'll bring it up now. There is rumors that Sony is actually looking to get rid of the Spider-Man universe and sell it back to Marvel. And the reason being that Marvel is kind of in charge of everything right now. And they're done with the solo movies because they're just not doing well for them. They're not making them money back. They're losing money. So they're thinking to sell the projected value of what they would make in 10 or 20 years to Marvel now and Disney now, just to get the rights back to them for $10 billion plus is what they're estimating. instead of waiting decades for a profit. I could see that happening, but I don't think it'll happen until whatever happens with Brand New Day. So, and some other Marvel news. A sequel to Thunderbolts is reportedly a priority for Marvel Studios, set after Doomsday and Secret Wars. Also, Black Panther 3, also a priority. Ryan Coogler wants to include mutants and supernatural connections to the ancestral plane. It will feature a coming-of-age story with a heavy emphasis on legacy and what it means for T'Challa 2 to inherit the title of Black Panther. We saw T'Challa 2 in Wakanda Forever. So, and we got another promo, it looks like a package of socks with a picture of Dr. Doom on it, with a whole bunch of other characters, including Hulk, which I don't think was ever said he's going to be a part of Doomsday, but he's there front and center right above Dr. Doom, so we'll have to wait and see on that. And finally, in news, the Russo brothers, big rumor came out this week. Russo brothers are rumored to be developing a 7th Avengers movie after Doomsday and Secret Wars. If anything, I bet you that would be Avengers versus X-Men, but who knows? Who knows if that's even true? It came out in the beginning of the week and it kept creating steam, so who knows? But that's it for our show this week. Next week, we'll talk about Cape Fear, House of Dragon, Life, Larry in the Pursuit of Unhappiness, X-Men 97. On the 7th, which I believe is Wednesday or Tuesday, Dark Side of the Ring Season 7 premieres. Yep. Cannot wait. 2-episode premiere on the creation of TNA with Jeff Jarrett. So cannot wait for that.
Pretty good one. Yep.
And we are 2 weeks away from the Odyssey. And we've been mentioning it off and on that I want to watch Troy. Troy is
which I believe I watched it back when I was on a Brad Pitt kick back in the day, but I can't remember much of it because I wasn't huge into that type of time period at the time. So,
right. And the movie was panned pretty heavily when it came out in 2004. That's probably why I didn't watch it.
Of course, you know the backstory of that movie, right?
No, I don't.
The guy that was directing it backed out to do Batman, so they hired Nolan to do Troy, and then the guy decided, like, he'd already done pre-production on it. Nolan stepped in and started take over pre-production. Then the guy decided he didn't want to do it. It was going to be Batman versus Superman. Didn't really want to do that story once he got the script, so he went back to Troy, and as a consolation prize, they told Nolan he could do whatever he wanted with Batman, and that's how he got Batman Begins.
That's cool. So yeah, and of course, this is a prequel to the Odyssey because it's set. The Odyssey is Odysseus leaving Troy after the 10-year war for the Trojan War. So, we talked about on the podcast the Michael Caine audiobook, the AI audiobook. I started listening to it this morning. I could not get through it. There's way too many weird Greek names. I just couldn't through it. It reminded me of probably what it's like to read a Game of Thrones novel with all the weird made up names. But even
it would be like reading, because not the main line series because you know all the names from the show, but it'd be like reading the one the House of the Dragon's based on, because everyone has the same fucking name. Like everyone has the same name.
That's what it reminded me of. Yeah,
that's what it would be like. Because when I started reading that, it was tough at first. It was really hard. So I understand what you were going through.
But AI Michael Caine sounded just like real AI. Real Michael Caine is very strange. AI is very, very strange technology. But thanks everybody. We will talk to you next week. Peace.
We're the Geek Blurb crew, here to enlighten you. Talking all things geeky, from movies to wrestling to our podcast is the place where you want to be for all the latest news and nostalgia from the 80s and 90s. We review comic book flicks and sci-fi hits, riding the wave of action movies with all the cool bits. From Iron Man to Star Wars, we cover it all. And when it comes to wrestling, we never drop the ball. Geek Blurb, we're the kings of the nerds, rating movies and pineapples, our opinions never blurred. Join us each week for a geeky chat with the latest scoop and a dose of nostalgia that. So if you're a fan of the comic book craze, or a lover of sci-fi and all its maze, tune in to Geek Blurb, we're here to entertain.